Joseph Karan, Mvskoke Ijara, Mvskoke. My name is Timothy Harley, and I'm a full-blood Mvskoke. My tribal town is Akwaski Deep Fork. I'm middle what Akwaski Hatchip Kidway. I'm a legged at Gotchep to West. My clan is Tiger. Just get at it. You was a My dad was a Bear Clan. Hubono. Not when I was it, Idimonagate, Willie London. Long time ago, they used to tell stories. I was about 5 years old then. Mamu gidong was all. Chucky bed is out my room. Mamu gidong. At that time, we didn't have no TV, radio, or telephone. Mamu gidong. I said when I got high school. Nak his kujidon. She didn't put out much. So when they visit each other, they used to sit around and tell stories to entertain each other. Mamu gidongo. Nak when I was doing it, it put out it. It put out we don't. Mabu has to do much. Too much at Kisayat. The little that I know. This one man was telling a story. I remember. Used to hang it not when I was when I poemed. There were 2 hunters and they were twins. And Payegi, Hukoli Bilaktuat. Chibanagi, Puktadwagan. So they went to hunt and expected to go a long ways. So they got ready and they went on. In Darakit, Ahoyan. They went long ways. And it got dark on him. Obeying such way, you must keep it. So they decided to camp there for rest of the night. Oh, you must cock it. Obeying such way, or you must cock it. You're not going to have market. It is a jacket. Agua hocket. Then they went to sleep. Not for you, buddy. By the time midnight came around, one of them woke up hearing a sound like a storm ground going on somewhere. Hanky the one is it. Knock pocket, Abanaga, said Kidami, said Pumajigan, pocket. Then he wanted to know where that singer coming from. So he got up and the managal said Kiruanua, go with Abanaga. Mahatsudabalamai across the river sound like that's where that storm ground was coming from. People dancing. Hatsudabala Mahoy said Hokajiwin, Puhit. Mama knew go going. Then he started looking around. Abanaga. I like it. Then he got up. Then wanted to go check it out, see where it's coming from. So I like it. Abanaga, Tamanofonawat. Say he's on to Escomet. I hear. When he got across that river and looked around, he's seen a storm ground going on. Ma anti bala so khawala be abana ga han. Shehe kida late to what shehe ki to ho ya didon. He said. Then he started looking around and thought he would participate in that storm ground that's going on. So I look at abana go ha. Ma shehe kida mi with that. Tu was assessing by the manage handweight come who hired. Then he joined the people having a storm ground. Mashed who got extra bucket. Panhoyan stabagirada. Then they took a break. More and immediately jakajigan. Then he started talking around with those people that were all over that storm ground. So he said who got immediately to the ducking bonao full on stabagi stimbonai that and then hooked inuga avajayet. Then he made a girl booked that wagon. They were twins too, them girls. When he started talking to this girl that he met and found out she was a twin too. When she got at my hokti imbonayo, booked out wakadin, kizayed. Then he started kind of liking the girl and got acquainted with it. Harila ta hokti siman hisumi hagen. Important allegation. Then when they were talking, Timbonaoyo, that girl said she was a twin. Mahokti doga pokta duis magen. Majibani doga, that guy said, well, we're twins too. And Pumio pokta duis. Gajan. They Timbonao Willagan Adiweda Maida. They start talking for a while, and he said he's got a brother that sleep across the river. Ma ambok tahangit Hachi Banzangit Nujidak Wakis. Man yabi kondu yabi kondu. Father, we was going hunting, and they told him that it got dark on him. Moving, obeying that way, Yamanalaho, Poy Mojagan. Figa, we like 2 years. Then that guy said, maybe you could get your sister to meet my brother. Ma chijuji hangi chijuba hangin ma pombok ta hangi ak bakar jaza imidin puna anak disketan mahokti dongan hindi beres Ustiarmaga poster and Riga, getting. He said it'd be a good idea, cause we're all of us are twins, together. So they thought it was a good idea. He's just going with. Wouldn't know what? Well, let's go down there and wake her up and see what he says. Wouldn't what? Chazakayisin, someone is jetty. Not Magan Puhana, getting. Then that girl went with her, with that guy. So, Mahokti, Ma Unawa Ajakayan. Simako Sohi, only the dragon. Nagidi, what is it, Gazette? Nagidi Maga. You hear that storm ground going on across the river, Maga? Mana said Hokazoga, Puita, Hats the bottom mine, Gazette. Tabanuga, Gazette. Where's that, Maga? Hats the bottom across the river. Mui. Well, I was down there participating in that storm ground, and we came to tell you. Mum, Panhuayan, we like you had. Easy Monayas con at Holdaway gathered. Well, I guess I'll go with you then, Margaret. Wonder what is a kayaga wedding? Catch it. That guy said, you hooked this out of that, Manavati to us. This girl that I'm with now, that's where I met her. And she's got a sister, that's a twin too. And we want you to get to know her. Hadam imbuktat hangit azirundun. Chimijimbuna handuin. So they got up and they went to the storm ground. I will lay it, Azakayakin. Said Hogan, so let it full it. Masayakida, me who was done. Stabagi full. It was almost morning time when that storm ground was about to be over. Hayat ki bajigan, spooky shade ki puajigan. They thought they'd go back and get rested to sleep. Well, what? Evil the hooked. Marata no tree, figure one at the catch it. Was so the ladies that they met went along with him. Mahotaga Abachaga, a Jakabian. So when they got to where they were camping, they all went to sleep together. Ma Akfiga Vagi Fulat, Mahokti Abachaga yo, a Makwahokin, Akano Jadi. Moving. That morning, the sun was coming up, and Mahayako has Yayoshi been jacket. That one of them that Abata Noga Milit Hujif couldn't do it. Mahokti, that girl that they were laying out there with was one of them was named Mary. And one of the hunters woke up and hung it mapayag amonide. Mary was laying with him with her arms around and went to sleep. Moe mahosti hung it ibuli sa walking. No jippin. Then the next morning, that one of the twins woke up and Maputa hung it on it. That girl he met was Mary. Mahok about that. Mili don't do it. Udagi sakwakit. Ako ni just kuwadi. She thought he was waking up still hugging Mary. And when he woke up, he was still hugging Mary when he woke up. And Just what how had it Abanaga. When he opened his eyes to look at her, he done. Do you big a open it? Would you do what he done? When he started looking around, it was an old graveyard. And what he thought he was hugging Mary, he woke up hugging that tombstone. Ahun ni done. Mary da science is good. Do you big in Jakadua? Mary, Mili Sunki body, Chupilak, Chupihanga Mai Duan. Do you big in Jakan, Ibuli Sakwakit? Ahun needs to what is here. Anga, is the hangit. Onado get. Is the Jolagi. This one man, other one was telling a story. The hangit Onado get. There was a old farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere. Chuboliska. Under my mind, there were two elders that lived there. Who called it? Adulagi Kagidun to it. Later on, they had kids. Ajividayat Pidagan Wazakin. And they lived in the house still. Maranjawabugi Mungaran. They raised their kids. They had about 7 of them. Kulabaga mine was a girundar. Back then, people used to pick berries and that Mahono Kajuda who we wouldn't do it. That lady that lived there used to go out and pick berries. Mahukti lega, Kaju who boyed out and do it. One time, she went to pick berries and never came back. Kaju Huboga Aya, Salagi was Mumegan. They looked for her, and they never did find her. Huboyagit, Shijago Mahadi, Shijago Mahadi, Muwed. Hadan, then her husband, Ihinoga, Faga, and nothing doing. When her husband went hunting, well, her husband never came back either. Ihinoga Faga Aya, Salagi was Mumegan. Then they started looking for him, and they couldn't find him either. Hadan man huboy da so khala jacket huboyaga shijagi godat. Then both of them disappeared. Well, one of them was hunting berry and the other one went hunting. Hangit kaju huboga nayan, hangit faga nari. Salahogi was mungipil. They keep looking for both of them and finally they never find them. Huboya was shijagi gomahin. Later on, they both died. And their kids were still living at that house. Didn't be that much abugi mungaron. Did they had kids? Mu and Pida was Sojaki Hagen. Then their kids used to play around out in the field. Mapida was Akubanagat. Pages I didn't do it. Some of them kids were out in the place where her grandma used to pick berries. Mapida was ibushi. Kaju hubui adari mamahin. Akubanaga. Then they ran into a skeleton a little further back where she used to pick berries. My mind pulled it. A whole bay jahan. Take up when it she jagged. So they ran back to the house. Privat kisiyedin. Then they start telling their parents. Siyedin. İçkeki muna yaktığıdır. Bu yanki kabunyak legit. She's to his mag. We found a skeleton of our grandma. And they told him, how do y'all know it was grandma? And they said, do we kisita chibushi duakat? Kisi is we know ma. Well, how do you know? It was grandma. We know for sure it was grandma. Well, how do y'all know? Do we kisita chibushi duakat? Okay, was it? Peter was to it. Well, he said when we found that skeleton, his mouth was still wide open. Bubushi wa kisi ya ilibari hubuni ikapuni diu si hagi bidwa chuwa hauki munga du weske jaga ikedi. Obano masaru chira agit unado get. Hilis were higher on the wind. Hilis higher in the Vilagan. This medicine man came to this people and they was going to show him how to make medicine. Yeah, Hilis higher is the ninja Vilag to win. Hilis higher Mahaya on the wind. They said we gotta wait till midnight. Nihinaskaba. Gathered. So they waited. More and Miha. Finally, midnight got here. Ninas Kabawosin. And Chibanose. Ibushi the boy Gagit in the wind. This little boy and his grandma was living in this house. And the people that they was going to show them how to make medicine, Chakibat Mahiran, there were about 5 people that this man was going to show them how to make medicine. One of them said, how about that little boy? He said, Mati Banusata, Nuchinwahania, he said, we could wait till that boy goes to sleep. And one of them said, he's just a little boy. He don't know anything about these medicine. One of them said, I don't know. He been living with his grandma. And Ibushi in Lady Chulidunga. Kisa wonders get it. Mahangi dog it. Nothing delay wonders get it. He said he don't know nothing. And they said, well, shall we get it started? God, how you want? I let you down. And one of them said, yeah, let's go ahead. Oh, I'm Mijagisa, Makin. So they went outside and built a little fire, and they got in a circle. Fit and say, Irundaki, Sahabaluki Takabogin. That medicine man came in and sat down with him. Mahilis has to sit and lay gagging. He said, I'm going to show y'all how to make a medicine. And y'all listen real good now. How you want? He is hiding. Simona Anactavega. In Mabu Hedakachi. Jacket. First, I want y'all to have a little white handkerchief in front of y'all. How you want? Nose could it? Has could it? Takabuye. So they put the white handkerchief in front of them. Nos ko hat ko tindak kaboyakin. So second, then he said, ma hiji ingabada pudi udaskar. O kaboyak skehotel. That Prince Albert you got in your hand, put it on that white handkerchief. So they all put the tobacco on that white handkerchief. Ma hiji udaga umagan ma notkar ko den ufugayakin. Then they start saying it, showing him how to make medicine. He just hired a Yahagan alleged. He just hired an immuniagas takabogan. That medicine man said, when I sang it, I'm going to stir this tobacco. And y'all do the same thing. Alleged, you know what? Yeah. Notkat ko di hijo khabogat ti amet ye khan dwega marami jagatas keochen show stage we going to do it 4 times before the sun come up hajari se como que show stage hayat kayis keochen aleji jakajigan. So they started it. A lady ducking. That little boy ran to the house and got a handkerchief. Machibanusat. How we lay it? Lead kit evil legged. Notes couldn't. So we see the locket. Then he put it down like rest of them were doing. Mami was out in Dakayat. Then he went back to the house again and got his grandma's tobacco. I don't leak it. Ibushi. My hiji but in Saint Jawit. She's a locking. Then he start when that medicine man was singing, my hilish that little boy, Stewie, who was at Azaka Mizuit, that little boy started staring his tobacco when they were singing it, just like the rest of them were doing. Machibanusi. Yahegi his high for sister high with Madam Muidan, Yahegi didn't Mr. Legan. One of the 4 guys said, my shoe took it. I told you, that little boy, I think he knows something. But he wanted to knock his some with the cigarette to Kagas. Did he start getting on to him? Mushy Hagen, rest of them dog out. He's just playing, he don't know nothing. Nothing Gizago, Insakubanato, nothing Gizago others. So when they start singing, yeah, when they start staring that tobacco on that handkerchief, my nose goes to the yeah, he Tiamago. Then that little boy started doing that too. And he was singing just like they were. Madam Muidan Yahagan, then he started staring that tobacco like they were doing. He's the idea, me just start legging. Then they took a break. Wake up it. They took a break and they was going to do the last one.
1 minute left.
They was going to do the last one, and that little boy joined the last time. And when he did that, when they were going through the last one, that little boy was right along with it, making a tobacco like the way they were doing. So when they got through Buyahoof, that medicine man, this medicine works, and y'all going to see it. Yeah, I don't get it. He just says, they didn't know what that medicine man was talking about, but they went along. That medicine man said, well, we're through with it now. Y'all gonna see it working. Hay nhưng mà bố gì cả, he did that. I don't think he done what he did for everything. Mà chỉ bảo nó gì, ta lấy cả, na cái đó, mà nốt cát có ta lấy cả, the handkerchief he had would start jumping around like this, and mà nốt có ta cái, that's like his jacket. All those people around him got scared. See, they got scared, and even that medicine man got scared. Mà chỉ bảo nó start lấy cả, nốt cát có ta cái, that's like he still made a finger like a stupid egg. When they got through with that tobacco, they spilled it and ruined the medicine and everything. And that little boy with that handkerchief came out, and he started hopping around like that. That they got scared, and everybody started crawling and spilling their medicine, and he ruined his medicine. And ma nốt ko sino ka tas dagi takarin imbing galakit ma hiji dagi daki puya ka adak pala dagi stuwi dagi sayo hubanakin. Wamba that haircuts start chasing the people around him. They got scared and they start crawling everywhere. And ma nốt ko imbing galakit asin halgi takabin na gidundwa. They told him to quit. They said, wake us, they were really getting scared and tell him to quit. So they thought if they give him something for that medicine that he would stop it. And they want so they start digging into their pocket, and all the change they had, they were throwing them out there. Take it, here. They were scared of it. They were still crawling, and they got scared, and they started giving him something for their medicine. They start digging into their pocket and throwing a bunch of coins out there. And that handkerchief was still going around like this, and they told him quit, and everybody was begging for him, and Ingushabagan. Na tuknaw is ain't pala dagin he's a. So that little boy started picking up that change and start sticking it in his pocket. But he was adak sa tuknaw jakin dak pala tuan. It was an ED. He stuck. He was crawling around picking up the money. Moving. And Hurusakit, they couldn't go anywhere. After they got tired, they couldn't crawl anymore. And so when that little boy got through picking up his money, so now we gave him something for that medicine, so he should be quitting. So he picked up all the money, and they was laying out there watching him. And that little boy finally quit, and he picked up this handkerchief, and when it so machiban sanoga manuskoji adak sawo, they were laying out there looking at him. They were scared of him. They keep looking at him. In Bingalagi hijagan. Machibanu sanoga nuskoji adak sawo, when that little boy picked up that white handkerchief, he had a mouse in there. What? In Bingalagi hijagan. But nuskoji adak sawo, Jesus in a baby.